And now, the moment you've been waiting for all week, Courtney Smith's weekly video newsletter, TradeSmith.
Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. It seems like that's all I hear these days. And hey, have I got some exciting news here, because we're going to add Bitcoin to our coverage here in the free version of TradeSmith, and of course, specific trade recommendations for the fully paid up members. So hang on here. We're going to get to Bitcoin in just a few minutes. But even more important and more exciting than Bitcoin is this disclaimer. Okay, look at the S&P 500. Unbelievable. Look at that thing. New all-time highs. Look at the purple predictor is still bullish here. But the main thing is this thing is absolutely rocketing into the atmosphere here. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, there's so many things here. I got to stop here for a minute. First of all, I've been explaining over the last several weeks about the green line and the red line. And you can see that the red line is about as low, well, it is as low as it's been in the last year. But this is an incredibly low level. It rarely gets that low. And what that means is there's just no selling pressure in this market at all. But look at the green line. That shows the buying pressure, and you can see that that buying pressure started to increase. Not a lot, but it was already at an incredibly high level. Now, this week, I want to talk about the black line. The black line is actually the accumulation of the green and the red. And what it shows is, it's called the ADX, and it shows the strength of trend. Now, it's extraordinarily rare for the ADX, the strength of trend, to get up over 60. It rarely gets up. It doesn't get above 40 very often, not above 50. And look, it's almost approaching 70. Now, this is very important because I teach in my classes a technique called the bishop. And in brief, what it basically says is that if we see the ADX turn down even a slight amount, just the littlest amount, that the trend is over. And it has to be above 40. So we're in a position where all we need is 2 or 3 down days, and the ADX will signal the end of the trend. So I am monitoring that factor very, very closely, and I'll be highlighting it every single week here in TradeSmith. So keep an eye on that. For now, it's bullish. Nasdaq, new all-time highs. Oh, and of course, I forgot to mention that the Dow also made new all-time highs. So how can you have to be very, very bullish. One of the most important principles of trading that is so difficult for people is to actually buy something when it makes a new all-time high. People say, oh, well, it can't go any higher. No. If you were to buy things when they make new all-time highs or when they make new 52-week highs, that alone is a profitable trading system. I know a guy, I teach courses in India. Well, I teach them all over the world, but one place I teach them is in India. And one of my students came up to me and said that he was a full-time professional trader. And the only technique he used was buying Indian stocks when they made a new 52-week high. So that proves that this is a viable alternative to just about any technique. It's that powerful. Okay, seasonality. Interestingly, we did make a new all-time high, but not on Friday. We did it on Wednesday on a down day. Everything still looks very good from a seasonal perspective to me. Purple predictor has started to accelerate. I've raised my flip point up to about 152. If we break below 152, I'm going to turn off the seasonality bull sign and switch it over to neutral. But that seems like it's going to take weeks to get there. Now, the fact is we've been very strong. We're almost to the end of January, and yet we were supposed to have a weak January. When a market is strong during a normally seasonally weak time period, that's bullish. Because once that negative pressure is gone, this market should take off even more, if you can imagine that. Now, the yield curve, same analysis as last week. This is going to keep a damper on things. Where's all this money coming from? It's coming from the bond market. We're seeing a massive shift in markets, in global markets right now. A massive shift. They're moving into stocks like crazy. They're moving out of the dollar like crazy. They're moving out of bonds like crazy. They're moving into gold like crazy. But one of the big shifts here is that money is going out of the bond market and it's flowing into all these other markets, causing massive bull markets in foreign currencies, the gold, and the stock market. In addition, what we're seeing is people want risk. They're trying to find risk. They're not trying to hunker down. They're trying to find risk. And of course, the stock market is riskier than the bond market. And so we're seeing that money flow out of bonds into risky stocks. Global shares are doing extraordinarily well as well. And that's, I don't have any really. Yeah, I don't know. I got so excited about the U.S. stock market, but nonetheless, foreign stocks, particularly emerging markets, as the dollar comes under pressure, that causes emerging markets to do well. And so that's in particular the place I'd like to focus on. Bonds. Here we can see the bonds have been under pressure here. The purple predictor has been holding them up, so they haven't really collapsed. The move down from 128 down to, let's call it 123, is a decent sized move, but this is not a collapse-orama. We haven't even got down to the lows of October, so there's lots more, much further down that the bond market can go. So there's a lot more money. Excuse me. There's a lot more money that can flow out of the bond market into these other markets. But the point is, we still want to remain bearish on bonds, but not super bearish. Oh, wait a minute. Until we look at this chart, every single factor in the bond market is screaming out for higher interest rates, screaming out for higher interest rates. So although we see over here the purple predictor is actually bullish, everything else is bearish. So that would tell us we're going to continue to see a bear move in the bond market, just not a collapse-orama as much as it might look at first glance, but still look for higher interest rates. Now, in spite of the higher interest rates, the dollar is collapsing. Now, I need you to think about that for a second. Remember what I talked about with seasonality. Normally speaking, not all the time, but normally speaking, higher interest rates attracts capital into the US of A. And that capital means that the dollar is strong. But when we see this bullish factor, and yet the market is going down, that's super bearish. What if interest rates started going down? The dollar would really come under severe pressure. I am increasingly bearish on the US dollar. I've been bearish now since we broke below 92.50, that head and shoulders top. I'm getting increasingly bearish on the dollar. Fully paid up members, I analyzed both the euro and the yen, and fully paid up members will get into that detail. I'm getting more and more bulled up on gold. This is starting to, I mean, I'd love it if we broke above the September highs, but this is definitely a bull market in gold. With the weak dollar, strong gold comes along with it. Now, one of the interesting things is, would you rather be short the dollar or long gold? And the answer is you'd rather be short the dollar. The dollar is more bullish than gold is bullish. So better to focus your attention on being short the dollar and being long the euro than being long gold. Well, what about our gold key factors? All bullish. At the top, the euro, in the middle of the CRB, and at the bottom, the yen, all of them are crying out for higher gold prices. So I look for that. I just think that the currencies are going to be a little bit better off. Oil, I'm getting more bulled up here as well. OPEC is retaining their discipline. We're seeing a stronger economy, global economy, creating higher demand. I think in the past, I didn't really think the demand was going to pick up that much. We are seeing still increase in supply, but the increase in demand is even higher than that. Okay. Now, Bitcoin. I'm giving away some free training called The Truth About Bitcoin. I've recorded it. I'm putting together a landing page. I'm going to send you all an email because I want you to watch. It's a 2-part video series. And the first one really tells you what is Bitcoin, how does it work, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages. I really break down and tell you the real truth about Bitcoin. No hype, no BS. It's really the truth about Bitcoin. And in the second video, I talk about how to make money trading Bitcoin. And of course, that leads into TradeSmith. So we're going to cover it in a general area here in the freebie section, but we'll have specific trade recommendations in the fully paid up section. So once again, I would highly recommend that you subscribe. If you're not a fully paid up member, this is really the opportunity to do it. I will be covering it here. Anyway, I'm adding it to our weekly analysis, even in the freebie section. This is an additional thing because there's a mania about Bitcoin, and I think I owe it to my subscribers to keep them on the straight and narrow, to tell them about the pitfalls and the advantages and how to really play this market. So here's the Bitcoin price as of Friday. It's a bear market. Now, up until very recently, there was no way to go short Bitcoin. Now with the futures market, we can go short Bitcoin there. I want to show you one other chart here. So basically, I'm bearish on Bitcoin right now, simply following the trend here as I like to do. The market's telling me to sell Bitcoin. So if you're long Bitcoin, I would get out now. You can always buy it back in tomorrow, but you need to take those profits right now. Now, this is GBTC, and this is the thing that most people trade when they want to trade Bitcoin without trading Bitcoin. In other words, how do you trade Bitcoin on the stock market? This is the most popular ETF that trades Bitcoin. However, there are some severe problems. I won't go into management's problems, but let's just say that the management of this fund has a sketchy background. One good thing I like is the purple predictor is bullish, but the volume is very small, tens of thousands of shares a day, so I don't really like that. But here's the real problem. It's currently trading at an 85% premium to the value of the Bitcoin in the portfolio. In other words, if you buy Bitcoin through this ETF, you're actually paying an 85% premium. So it's going to be very, very difficult to make money. In fact, what I'm going to explore is how to sell short this fund and buy Bitcoin and look for them to converge. The other thing is this is traded on the pink sheets. It's not even traded on an exchange or even on the bulletin board. So it's kind of a funky thing. So don't trade it, please. Maybe short sell it, but don't buy it. Okay. That's it for today. You really need to be subscribing so you can follow all of our Bitcoin stuff because we will be talking about specific recommendations in the fully paid up section. All right, that's it for me, freebies. Fully paid up members, just hang in there for a second. Hey, Courtney Smith here, and I want to tell you about TradeSmith, our video weekly newsletter. Yeah, I've been bringing the hammer to the market for over 45 years, and now I share that expertise with you every week in a terse, to-the-point video newsletter. Now, see, back in the old days, I actually ran the #1 stock newsletter in the United States for 5 years, according to the Hulbert Financial Digest. I crushed the market. I went where the action was, and for 5 years, when I did this newsletter, it was the #1 rated most profitable newsletter there was. There's a picture of it. In addition, I also ran the #1 mutual fund, growth mutual fund in the United States. There it is. There it is. There's Morningstar. Look at that chart. Ooh, that's a beautiful looking chart there. And I was #1. Well, and no losing year in 40 years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I want to share that expertise with you so that you don't have to go through 40 years of experience. Trust me, I bled a lot in those 40 years, but what that means is I've led a lot, and I've shown tens of thousands of people how to make money in my career. Now, first of all, in this newsletter, we're going to cover the key markets. We're going to talk about the U.S. stock market. We're going to talk about global stock markets. We're going to talk about foreign exchange. We're going to talk about futures, even commodities, oil. We're going to talk about bonds, so that this is a one-stop shop. You can come here. You don't need anything else. We're going to use options. Whenever we have the opportunity to leverage up and turbocharge our profits, we're going to do it. Now, this is totally unique analysis. You think that if I did what everybody else did, I would have those #1 track records? Of course not. What I have to do is unique. That's the only way you can beat the competition out there year after year after year. So, deep fundamental analysis. I'm going to talk about this on 2 levels. First of all, fundamental analysis of the markets, monetary policy, economic policy, trade flows, all of those sorts of things, but on a very, very deep level. I've studied macroeconomics for decades now, and I've been using that analysis for decades. In addition, we look at deep fundamentals of individual stocks when we look at our stock market trades. That is to say, we're going to tear apart these companies. I focus a lot on a few key metrics. One of them, strong earnings growth. In the final analysis, that's the thing that really drives stock prices. Another factor that drives stock prices is when earnings per share estimates are going up. That is to say, when a broker changes their estimate from 10 cents a share to 20 cents a share, they call their clients buy the stock, and the price goes up. So those are the 2 most powerful techniques that affect the price of a stock. And I'm going to tear that apart and show you why I love these companies. But at the same time, just because it's a great company doesn't mean it's a great stock. We need to be able to time these things and buy them when it's good to buy and sell them when it's good to sell. So I'm going to show you unique technical analysis you can't get anyplace else. It's a combination of a number of indicators. Some of them you might have seen elsewhere, but I use them in a unique way. Others, you've never seen them anyplace else. I'm the inventor of those techniques. But you know what? Even the techniques that I use of other people, I use from people who are friends of mine. Yes, I've been around this market so long that most of the greatest technicians in history have been friends of mine. In addition, I'm going to show you ninja trading tactics. How are we going to get the best fill? How do we enter the orders? Are we going to use stop orders, or are we going to use limit orders or market orders? All of those sorts of things I'm going to give you in our weekly video newsletter. Key benefits of the newsletter. #1, killer analysis that you're not going to find anyplace else. This is unique. This is unusual. And I have to make it unique. I have to make it unusual because that's the only way I can be #1. By the way, I was voted #1 bond and gold market timer for 3 years in a row by Timers Digest. You can only do that when you have unique and killer analysis. Killer trades, because once we've got the analysis, we need to make money from it. We need to turn it into an actionable item, something that we can actually do in the real world. So I'm going to give you killer trades. I'm going to tell you specifically where to buy, specifically where to sell. Nothing is left to the imagination. I'm precise. It's also to the point. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. So no BS, no stories, no jokes, no nothing. Right to the point. Here's what to do. Here's why to do it. And here's how to make money from it. So I'm going to keep it terse. It's about 20 minutes per week, right to the point with all the analysis. I show you the charts right on the screen so you know exactly why I'm doing it. You can double check my work. If I show you an indicator and I say this is what it means, I'll show you the recent past and you can see if it worked recently. Of course, it does. Now, actionable. That's a key thing. So many analysts out there, it's blah, 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 blah. It seems to me that all they want to do is they love the sound of their own voice. They want to sound smart. You know what? I don't care if I sound smart. That's not the point of the exercise. I'm not here to try to impress you. I'm here to help you make money. I'm doing all the same trades that I recommend to you. So trust me, they better be profitable. Easy. Like I say, I'm going to give you the exact entry, exit points. It's going to be super easy. Just type them into your brokerage platform, and there you go. It can't be any easier than that unless I came over to your house and typed in the orders myself. It's only $47 a month. This is a peanut for what you're getting. This is killer analysis, killer trades. This is something where, I mean, you got to stop and think of it this way. Can I make $47 more per month if I subscribe to this newsletter? Or am I not going to make $47 per month? You know the answer. The answer is, of course, you're going to make at least 47, probably 10 times that, probably 100 times that, probably 1,000 times more than the $47, depending on the size of your account and if you follow all of my trades. So also, I want you to have a lot of free bonuses right up front. As soon as you sign up for the first month, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars of free bonuses. A lot of them are options related because I'm an owner of a company called Options University, and we've got some great education there, from option beginner to pro in just 4 nights. I like using options if I can because they can turbocharge the profitability. They can also be used to cut risk at the same time. That's a pretty awesome combination. So I'm going to give you from options beginner to pro in just 4 nights. Great introductory course for an option beginner. I'm going to give you how to quickly and easily master the top 20 technical indicators, some of which I use, but of course, as I say, I often use them in tricky new ways, and I'll show those to you as well. Retire rich with 10x income. I love this course. Really, isn't that what we all want, is to retire rich? And hey, why retire rich? How about retire rich and early with 10x income? This is an awesome course. You're going to love this course. It's going to get you focused so that you can retire rich. The secret is out with gamma trading. Now, this one's more advanced. I'm not kidding you with this. Gamma trading, I used to be an options market maker in the institutional world. I didn't deal with retail customers, only with banks. And what did we do? We did gamma trading all day long. It's something that's so super sophisticated that very few retail investors ever really understand it. This course gives you the insight into how to do this sophisticated technique. So we started from option beginner at our top bonus. This one, advanced and very super cool. Another one is, I love this. Come on. We're going to give you a new option strategy every month. So what's going to happen is you're going to receive a new option strategy every single month for 12 months, give you a month to master the strategy for the month, and then learn a new one, and then learn a new one. This is a great concept so that you can learn in a relaxed fashion. Gotta love it. I'm also going to give you 82-page manual on candlestick secrets. This is a particular style of trading, using, instead of bar charts, using candlesticks. What's cool is it's got flashcards. And it's really very cool because you actually get to learn just like you did when you were a kid. So it makes it super easy. You can be studying while you're sitting there on the subway or whatever, looking through those flashcards, the tutorials, the manual. It's awesome. And then finally, a very secretive part of the universe, foreign exchange options trading, where we combine foreign exchange trading with options trading, profiting from the 2 hottest markets. So I'm giving you 7 bonuses here. The value, if you were to go and buy those, go to optionsuniversity.com. Check them out. You'll see the price is just under $2,200. So when you sign up for just $47 a month, I'm going to give you these 7 bonuses right away. You're going to be able to access them right away. So let's repeat. You get the weekly video briefing with actionable advice. You get the 7 valuable bonuses, and all for just $1.56 a day. Come on. Really? You don't think it's worth less than $1.56 a day? Come on, man. You can't get a Starbucks coffee for $1.56, but you can get one of the best video newsletters ever. In fact, I believe it's the first video newsletter ever. But you're getting the same insights and the same techniques that I use to build that incredible track record of being the highest performing, most profitable newsletter for 5 straight years. All for $1.56 a day. This is a peanut. So what do you got to do? It's simple. You go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast. And yes, the W and the M and the F have to be capitalized. But go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast right now to subscribe. Get involved. Full money back guarantee, of course. Do it right now. You're going to really enjoy it. I'm not allowed to promise you that you'll make money. The SEC, the FTC, they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. But I know what my track record is. I think as long as you follow the advice, I think you're going to be very happy. I'm allowed to say you're going to be happy. I'm not allowed to say you'll make money or they'll come down on me like a ton of bricks. We don't like that. So here's what I need you to do. Go to bit.ly/weekly market forecast with the capital W, M, and F right now. Go there right now. Check it out. Sign out. Full money back guarantee. Get all the bonuses. Try it for a month. I know you're going to love it. Thanks very much, and I'll see you on TradeSmith. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.